have Amanda on the table, and we have Diane over here. They're both in the group as well. And we're just going to teach some moves, some trading, and some training today. And we'll see what's going on. So, Amanda, you work at a stretch place, and you do massages on the side, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Any headaches?
Yeah.
Neck, back, shoulders, numbness and tingling?
Yeah,
And,
fingertips.
okay, so arms and hands. So, most likely Amanda's been doing massage the hard way, using fingers and thumbs on deeper pressure.
Yeah.
Fingers, hands, thumbs. Okay. So I'm going to try and teach you how to not do that. Okay. And your numbness and your tingling is going to be coming from your subscaps underneath your shoulder blades. And so we're going to get in there. We're going to dig around and see. One of the things that I do differently than most therapists is I sit for probably 70-80% of my session. And there's certain muscles and muscle groups that you should do while you're sitting. And a lot of therapists don't like to hear that, but I'm going to show you how to do it and how to do it the easy way. Okay? So right now I'm just kind of warming her up, and I'm feeling where she's tight. And she's got a lot of stuff going on in the upper mid-back, up in here. I keep my fingers and my thumbs relaxed all the time when I'm not using them. I turn the switch off so that my fingers do this, okay? So if I'm not using them, they're off. Only use fingers and thumbs for small muscles, because the fingers and thumbs are small muscles. All right. Now, Amanda, as far as pressure goes, if I do anything that makes you tighten up or hold your breath, I'm going too deep. Okay? Don't be afraid to ask me to back off or go deeper if I need to. If it's a good spot but it's a little too much, just say back off a little. Don't be afraid even though we're on camera, all right? And I'll try and say the names of the moves as I do them. So this one is the Do You Want Deeper Than That? Because I'm just spreading lotion with relaxed fingers. And it's not deep at all. So. Okay, double Siamese twin knee slide. Relax fingers, going down the erectors. I'm staying off the spine on both sides, in between the shoulder blades. As I lean forward, my wrists curl back. Sometimes you get some pops on these, but you are pretty tight, so I don't think we're going to get any yet. This table is a little bit lower than normal. I think these ladies are a little shorter than I am, so I dropped it down for their sake. Alright, this one's Amish Paradise. This is going to be the one that everybody knows. This is the forearm and elbow going up the erectors. Now, some therapists do this a little differently. So I go straight up the erectors like this. Some therapists will go this way. Some will go this way. I don't do this or this because you've got ribs. You got your erectors going in a straight line right here. If you go this way, when you get to the ribs, it's going to start putting pressure on the ribs with your forearm and elbow. Okay? That's why I just stay on the straight line and go straight up this track. So if you've seen any of my videos, I talk about a snowboard analogy. So your snowboard can either go straight on or it can go perpendicular, okay? We don't want to go perpendicular this way because of what I just said. We want to go straight on up this track with these erectors. So the erectors are the rail, the forearm and elbow are the snowboard, okay? So we sink in right down the junction where the hip meets the spine, and we just go nice and slow. Okay, fingers are relaxed. the shoulders. When you get to the top of the shoulders, it's going to get sensitive because the top of the traps are always tight. So you want to ease off when you're going over the top of the shoulder. How are we doing on pressure? You want deeper than that, or is it about right? A little bit deeper, okay? See that question that I asked, do you want deeper than that, or is it about right? Now, she said it's about right. That means I'm right on the verge of going deep enough or too deep. So when they say about right, then you're good. If they want deeper, then you sink in a little deeper. Okay, you can either do more body weight, or you can lift your wrist up a little bit, and that will dig in deeper. Okay. So I'm just going to sink in. The deeper you go, the slower you go. You don't go fast and deep. About deep tissue is that you slow everything way down. Because you do that, you're not doing as much work. You're just leaning on them with a lot of body weight. Just not a lot of body weight, but the majority of your time is spent using your body weight to lean on them and go slow. I'm going to show you one that's not in my videos yet, but I wanted to film and show it to you. This one's called the tip of the spear. Okay, this is the tip of the spear. This is the tool. It's this knuckle right here. Okay, and the reason it's the tip of the spear is because I'm going to make my arms straight like this, and I'm going to put my knuckle right in her erectors, and I'm going to just go straight in. Barely any body weight required on this because it's a sharp tool. Okay, now you let me know if I get digging too deep, alright, if you want deeper, okay? This is a mini elbow. It's a precision tool that you can feel exactly what you're doing. You can use body weight and feel exactly what you're doing to sink into those muscles. Everybody on the live stream, hi and welcome, by the way. I'm not able to focus on both, but I see there's a couple people in here and saying what's up. I hope y'all can hear me. I didn't even check that. Okay, so these guys right in here, of course you got knots in the rhomboids. When you feel them, you just slow down, kind of hold, wiggle around. How are we doing on pressure? Any deeper is about right. You can sit like this all day long, holding on these knots, and just waiting for them to give up. Okay? It doesn't take a lot. Come around and look at this side, Diane. See how my fingers, they're relaxed, and this finger is kind of curled up like this. They're just kind of smushing in on each other because they're so relaxed, and it's just, that's how it ends up when I'm making the tool like this. See if you can see these twitches too, watch. We're going to watch for the twitches. Let's see if I get any good ones. Was me sliding off. I'll probably get some when I'm doing my stuff down here, actually. Okay. So those are the first couple moves. We did Amish Paradise. We did tip of the spear going up. Okay. Now I'm going to take my stool. $5 for one of these guys. You can spend $100 on Amazon getting the nice stools, or you can get one of these. Take the back off of it. These things wheel around great. Okay, so I'm going to come around this way now. If you want to come maybe on this side. Okay, this is where the money makers come in. Okay, levators, can't work levators standing up very well. Most therapists will come in here like this, and they'll go with their forearm and elbow this way, or they'll come this way and go this way.
That's right.
Right? Levators go like this. Okay? So we want to snowboard down the levator, and you can't do that like this. Okay? Your forearm and elbow, that's what everybody uses. What I'm going to teach you is to use the small snowboard. This right here is your small snowboard. Okay? And we're going to go down the levator with the small snowboard. Like I said, this is the moneymaker. If you learn how to do this right, you're going to get all the clients because nobody else does this. Okay? This one is the Why You Little move that I'm doing. The pads of my palms right here, fingers relaxed, like I'm strangling Bart.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm just, these are going down levators as well. Nice and relaxed. Pressure good? You want deeper? Okay. So levators are usually the tightest muscles on just about everybody that I work on. Now, you're probably going to see some twitches right in here. Small snowboard down the levators, okay? My thumb is just as a guide. It's not putting any pressure. Okay? Any deeper is about right. Okay. This is going to kill the headaches. See that twitch? I don't know if you caught it or not. This right here will twitch. Twitches means that the muscles are trying to release. Like, I mean, I can't prove this scientifically, but it's sending a signal to the brain that it wants to release and let go. Okay? At least that's what they told us in school, so I don't know, take it for what it's worth. Usually when I see the twitches, I start making progress. So you want to watch for the twitches. And I would pay you to do this to me for an hour. Let's just put it that way. This one does so much good for you. And when I get it done on me, it feels like the muscles attached to the back of my eyeball. And you're feeling that in your eyeball?
Yeah. And like it's going down to my ear.
Yes. So that's called referral pain. And that means I'm working on a good spot that's causing those problems. A big difference in your range of motion if you do this enough. When you get off the table, you're going to be able to move your neck a lot better. Okay, so now I'm going to come around. This is what I call don't be a biff. Okay? A massage therapist, whether they were taught in school or whatever, they do this. Okay? And why do they do it? Because you can pop up the shoulder blade here and you can work underneath the shoulder blade. So what happens when you let go? Well, the client has to hold it there, right? So you start working and they feel like they have to hold it there. They're not relaxing if they're holding it there, right? So don't do that. That's called being a biff from Back to the Future when he puts his arm behind his back. You can get the same result. You take a rolled up towel and you stick it under the shoulder right here. Okay? She's relaxed. Her shoulder blade's popped up. Now I can work, okay? So, we're going to work the subscaps now. And you may feel this shooting down in your arm, hands, numbness and tingling. This one was called the Cyclops Eye Gouger because you're going to be doing the same thing you would do if you were eye gouging a Cyclops, all right? This is where you're going to use your thumbs, okay? And this is what you save it for, is for the small stuff or the stuff that you can't reach otherwise. So you wouldn't be able to reach this if you didn't use your thumbs. You're not using elbows on this or anything like that. So just start warming up. Some people are ticklish with this. Some people don't like this at all. But it really needs to be done. So she's real tight in the lats. And I'm just going to kind of ease up underneath and get into the subscaps. I'm just kind of putting pressure in, letting it out, putting it back in, that kind of thing. If you guys can hear me on the live, say what's up or make some comments so I can see that you're getting this.
I can see comments. I can't see that far.
I know this is at least a 10-second delay, so it takes them a while to respond.
I just saw a bunch of likes going up though.
Awesome.
I can see the little blue dots.
You feeling that anywhere?
Oh yeah.
Where's it going?
Like all down my arm.
Okay, good.
So you're just truly pressure pointing that area then.
It's kind of a trigger point thing. You'll get used to it. You'll dig your thumbs up under there and you'll feel for the tight spots and you'll just hold on them. And like I said, you look for the twitches and you ask your client how it's feeling. If they're feeling it down their arms and hands, anytime you are working somewhere and it's shooting somewhere else, that is a good spot to be working on. Okay. Okay, and with this you can do the Ouija board. The Ouija board is when you grab hold of the scapula and you move it around and you figure out which side it's holding on. Because you got muscles, your rhomboids, you've got your subscaps running underneath, you've got your teres major minor over here, top of the traps and levators over here. It's almost like a kneecap. It's a free-floating bone, and those muscles are going to be tight. Some of them are going to be tighter than others. So figure out which ones are tight and figure out which ones you need to work in order to release that shoulder blade. A ton of problems are going to come when people can't move their shoulder blades. And the subscaps are key to releasing the shoulder blades. I used to just work rhomboids all day long with my forearms and my elbows. I would dig in, and I wouldn't make any progress. It wasn't until I started working the subscaps, it's almost like unlocking it. Like, I would put my thumbs into the subscaps, and the rhomboids would start twitching. And then they would start releasing. And when I couldn't move it before, after I worked the subscaps, I'd be able to pick that thing up and move it all around. Okay? And you can grab onto it, pull it off this way. See her, the tops, or levators and tops of her traps are still pretty tight. And granted, I'm just kind of demonstrating what I can do right now. I'm not doing a full hour or anything. This is another thing you can do is you can grab the bottom angle and just strip all the way down. I had a piano teacher that loved this. This is all she wanted me to do. Pressure okay?
Do you do the same if you can't get into underneath that bone? Because I have clients that it's just solid.
Yeah. All you do what you can. People that haven't had them worked for 20 years, they're going to be rock solid. You just put pressure and weight and see if it melts. And if it starts melting, you're making progress. That's what you do. But people respond. Okay. So now I'm going to show you, let's do this one because I haven't done this one yet on my videos either. Okay, so this will be the boa constrictor Heimlich maneuver. I think I showed that one on a video. You're going to pretend like their arm is a boa constrictor that swallowed something, and you're going to give them the Heimlich maneuver the way you would a boa constrictor. So you're going to grab, and you're going to feel for the hard spots, and you're going to pull those hard spots down. Like if the mouth was out here, you're going to pull the hard spots down their arm, okay? And I'm just reaching and grabbing. Gripping with the fingers and thumbs, kind of twisting. This is a pretty good way to work the upper arms. Okay, this is one of my favorites. I haven't put this one up yet, but this one's called The Sword and the Stone. So the forearms are kind of hard to work. They're hard to go deep on. You're going to use fingers and thumbs for your forearms because they're small muscles, okay? And I call it sword and the stone because it's like you're driving a sword down into the ground, okay? You're gripping the hilt of the sword and you're going down this way. Okay, so my fingers are kind of digging into her forearms and I'm gripping it and I'm just going slow. Nice and easy down. This is going to feel really good on massage therapists, anybody else that uses their forearms a lot, tradesmen, that kind of thing. Okay, and you want to check with butt pressure on these too. How are we doing so far, Amanda?
So good.
So if you've been doing massage wrong, you are going to have some killer forearms. They're going to be hurting a lot. By them. That's my wife, Claire, by the way.
Nice to meet you.
You look more like his daughter. you're robbing the cradle there.
She's 40. Come on.
Well, you don't look
She
it.
has a 20-year-old.
I have a 20-year-old named Amanda.
Ah.
Well, I have a kid older than you, but you look like you would be your kid's age.
Funny, thank you.
You're welcome.
That's very nice to you.
Okay, so with this, you can really work the forearms. And another thing you can do while you're working the forearms, because they're sensitive, they're going to hurt a lot. You kind of pin the muscle with your fingers, and then you can move the wrist around too, and that will help to release it. You feel that? And as you're moving their hand, you can feel which muscle is moving. All right. So she got a taste of that. Let's see. Invisible Mr. Bigglesworth. That's what I was trying to think of. Gotta remember the names to all my moves. Oh, keep that arm out for me if you would. All right. So Invisible Mr. Bigglesworth. This one you want to come around on this side. Hand goes underneath as a cushion so that I'm not pounding her into the table and I can't feel what she's feeling. Relaxed fist, single Siamese twin knee slide, and watch your fingers. You guys probably know this one. Okay, if your clients have never had this done, they're going to laugh because they can feel their fingers moving, but they're not doing it themselves. This is a great one for working the flexors. If any of you guys are asking questions, I will get to them when we switch it up, if that's cool. And if you can't see what I'm doing, I'm gonna edit this in. We're shooting two different angles, so. Okay.
I'm trying to get really close because videos that I watch, they're usually so far away.
Yeah,
The person's
yeah.
working on the opposite side, and you're like, I have no idea what you're doing.
This is elephant eye gouger right here. So we're pretending that the hand is an elephant because you got the trunk right here, right? Okay, we're peeling the ears back. This is where the eyes would be on the elephant. So that's the elephant eye gouger. We're going to just gouge it right in the eyes here. I try to make it so you guys will remember these moves, you know. Try to make it fun for you to learn so you're not bored out of your mind. Okay, and then to finish off, I usually just mash it. I don't even know if I have a name for this one yet.
Mashed potato.
Hulk smash. Oh, the mashed potato, that's pretty good. If you're going to mash
It's just what it reminded me of.
yeah. Again, my hand's underneath hers so that it's a cushion, because you don't know if she's feeling wood down there if I'm just mashing into the table. Yeah, this one feels really good too. All right, so do that, and then we'll just kind of even her out on the other side too for a little bit. What haven't I shown? Is there anything I haven't shown yet?
Neck, head.
Yes. And someday I will do a video on glutes and hips. We'll see. I was just telling the gals that I'm working on getting a big office set up. So hoping that it works. Fingers crossed. Ooh, I know what I haven't done. The leg stretcher. Okay, I'm going to do that on this side so that you guys can see. So this is one that I learned right out of school. I had a gal do it on me. And I couldn't tell how she was doing it because I was laying on the table, but I felt it, and I said, that is how it's supposed to be done, okay? So we're taking the knuckle, the tip of the spear, and you can start that up here. You want to be careful of the ribs, but after you get down below the ribs, you can kind of dig this in, and you're just going right next to the spine down the QLs. And if you do this right, if you stick right on the muscles, it feels like your leg's getting longer. So, do you feel that? That's why I call it the leg stretcher. And sometimes I catch myself, like you guys will notice that I put my hand here. Sometimes I catch myself flexing my hand and I have to remind myself, relax, turn it off, so that your hand's not doing extra work when it's not doing anything. It's just flexing to flex. So think about that before you do a stroke. That's what I say, check yourself before you wreck yourself. So always check before, during, and after you're doing a stroke that you're not using any extra muscles that you don't need to use. Okay? So that's a leg stretcher. How about the Hungarian hip stripper? So the Hungarian hip stripper, it doesn't actually strip the hips, but you're using your hip behind your tool to strip it out. Okay? So this is one that I made up. Okay? I needed a way to do all my body weight going this way on those levators. Okay? I can do about half of my body weight sitting down, leaning forward, but I need a way to use all my body weight because there were some that needed more pressure. Okay? Relaxed fist, up underneath, putting it into your belt. So you're going to bend over like this, and you're going to push with your hips this way, behind your tool. And this is going to get tons of body weight behind it. I'm not going very deep right now, but tell me if you want deeper, okay? I'm kind of digging up underneath the top of the traps and trying to like, almost like using this snowboard at an angle on those muscles to stay on it. Or even digging up underneath and lifting while you go out. How's that feeling? Any deeper? Okay, no deeper. Okay. So much of it is about just navigating around the bones and figuring out which tool fits best in what you're trying to do. The snowboarding thing, that concept of your muscles being rails and your bones being snowboards, you can use that for the whole body. Every muscle that you go to work on, figure out how you can ride it with a snowboard if you can. And if you can't, then that's where you're going to use your fingers and thumbs to grip or squeeze or trigger point or I don't want to say trigger point. Yeah, I guess I can say trigger point, but no body weight behind your fingers and thumbs. Okay, you're only going to conserve that energy to work on the smaller stuff. Like the neck is one you're going to use your fingers and thumbs for a lot. And because it's a very sensitive area, it does not take much pressure to go deep on the neck. And I'll show you that when I flip her over here. Amanda, you're only getting kind of a Reader's Digest version of what I would do if we had an hour. But.
It's okay. I've already learned so much. I'm glad we're videoing.
Yeah.
I want to be able to remember all of it.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Good. Yeah, the side's tight.
It's not right.
When I shot my video before, I had a professional in there, and he had light setups and everything, high definition cameras and all this. And I eventually will get back to that point where I have, really good lights, so you'll be able to see everything.
And not somebody shaking and moving all around in front of cameras.
No.
So
I'm just thinking light. I don't worry about that. I figure between the live and then this, and then I'm also recording the audio too. I should be able to put something decent together. At the very least, just to show you a couple of moves that I haven't shown yet, like the sword and the stone and the tip of the spear. Those ones.
Well, next time this needs to be turned around too, because I keep putting my finger in front of that.
I just grabbed that last minute. That's my voice.
Well, I didn't realize where the thing was when I grabbed it.
Oh,
either,
really?
So, yeah. Where the camera point was. So
Yeah.
I accidentally put my finger on it.
like I said, I'm hoping that this will be the first of many of these, not just for you guys, but also for members of the group. If I can travel, or if anybody wants to come here, you're more than welcome. We are in Saugus, California, which is by Magic Mountain, Santa Clarita area. But I also travel a lot with my other job, so I'm excited if I ever get on the road, I'll probably have a lot more options to meet up with people now. Because I made a lot of friends. Oh, I want to spend another hour on these, I swear. I showed this one either. I think I want to call this one the ice cream scoop, but I'm not sure if that's if you guys have a better name, you let me know. But you just use a relaxed fist and you're just going around the deltoids. Okay, and you're using your knuckles. Ice cream scoop. Nothing. I don't know. And you can go all the way to the front side and lift up as well on the front side with your knuckles. Almost like you do with the Fonzie. I didn't show the Fonzie. This to he was an HVAC technician, or he owned an air conditioning business, and he would do all the work, and his forearms were so tight, and he was getting numbness and tingling, and he couldn't lift his shoulder past a certain point. And I did this along with the subscap stuff on him, and he could not believe it when he walked out of there. He was amazed. So, okay, go ahead. Good. Step underneath the knees. You alright? Okay. Slide down just a little bit so your head's on the table. People are saying closer up. I'm going to do this right now. Snap, crackle, pop. Do you go to chiropractor at all, Amanda?
No, I just can't get on.
Ever been to a chiropractor?
One time.
How was it?
It was nice.
It's
Like,
actually,
leg being cracked.
it's actually really bad to do it yourself.
Yeah, it's
So it's like all day I cannot stop cracking my neck because it hurts.
yeah, and that's the muscles
Chiro.
pulling on the joints. So the tighter your muscles are, the less movement you're gonna get when you try and crack them. A good chiropractor will recommend massage. They'll either have a massage therapist in their office or they will send you to one because they know that your muscles are tight, they're pulling on your joints. When joints are out of alignment, they'll pop back into place. Your muscles are still tight, they're back again as soon as you walk out the door. So like I said, if they send you to a massage therapist, they're trying to get those muscles to relax so that their adjustment stays in place and you don't have to come back to them. One that wants your money will tell you to come back 3 times a week for the rest of your life. And I've been to some of those. Okay, so this one is the hitchhiker. Relaxed fingers, and then the reverse hitchhiker is just coming the other way. And I'm just using the tops of my knuckles there to do levators at the top of the traps. But I spend so much time on levators and top of the traps, both supine and prone, because it's the #1 spot for just about everybody. And if you can fix that problem for people, they're going to love you forever. Because most therapists will spend the whole time doing a full body massage, and they don't spend that much time on them. Okay. So, neck work it's almost like its own modality. It takes a lot of practice to get really good with neck work. You're going to be...
You may want to do the other side so people watching can see.
Oh, yeah, okay. I will. So we're getting it from 2 different angles, guys. So you'll see from this side, and then I'll do it from the other side as well. Actually, I'll start from this side. That's fine.
Yeah, because they won't be able to see people watching live.
Alright. So like I said, neck work, you're going to use a majority of fingers and thumbs. Your thumbs are going to do most of the work. Now this one's called the iPhone Texture Resistance Trainer because if you text on an iPhone, you used to have to use one hand or 2 thumbs, and that kind of thing. So this is to build up your muscles, your texting muscles, with this resistance trainer right here. Okay, your CMs. And then there's Jimmy in the Lock. So this is Jimmy in the Lock. You'll dig your thumb in and you'll just kind of do a bobblehead test on your client to make sure that they're relaxed. Most people have a hard time letting go of their neck and letting somebody else move it for them. So they'll try and hold it tight or move for you. So you do the bobblehead test to make sure they're relaxed. If they're not, just tell them to go ahead and relax until you get it nice and loose. And I have my hand underneath her head, just kind of cradling it. And I'm going to use my hand a lot to move her head around because as I move it, I can get a grip on the muscles in her SCM, and I'm just squeezing like this. Okay, so putting a little bit of pressure on it. Once I feel a good sticky spot, I can hold it. And you want to watch your client's face. If you're going too deep, they'll wince. They'll make mean faces at you. But you just want to be super patient with these. You could spend 20-30 minutes on just their neck, depending on what's going on. And once you have it pinned down, you can move them around, just like what I was showing you with the forearm and the wrist. Okay? And once you've done that for a while, you can start bouncing down the muscle. I alternate between bouncing and sliding. Okay, so a little bit of pressure, bounce down, bounce down, bounce down. And then as I'm going down, I can also turn her head to the side to stay on the muscle. And you can slide this all the way underneath the clavicle. Deeper. Fonzies. Back. Up underneath, I'm just lifting and pulling back. I'm also doing the hillbilly car jack, which I just posted yesterday. So I'm lifting up, and her body is falling over my knuckles to the table. You're letting gravity do all the work on this. And then this one is my spidey senses tingling. I'm taking these 3 fingers and I'm just pulling up on the cervicals. People either love this one or it's too much for them. Sensory overload. They get goosebumps and they get tickled. I don't know. What do you think, Amanda?
It's great. It feels great.
Good.
So I remember reading this one and it's like, whoa, that does feel great.
All right. You okay? You guys want to see a cool trick? I don't know, maybe I should do this live. I will do a different section. I was going to show you guys what unwinding looks like, but I'm not going to do that this time because there's things that could go wrong, so I'm not going to show you this one. Okay, so that's going to be for Amanda, and then we're going to change things up, and we'll get Diane on the table, and then we'll keep going. I guess we'll just leave it live, and if you guys, hopefully you can see enough, but if not, you can watch it later. So we are going to turn this around.